What's up, everybody? Today, we're solving one of the biggest challenges that we hear from community owners, and that is how to turn your free community members into paying customers. So if you've been building a community, but you're struggling to monetize it, then stick around because we're going to share with you 4 core strategies that we've been using to convert our free members to paying customers and generate over $290,000 in the past 12 months. And so these strategies have generated thousands for ourselves and for our clients. But here's where most people go wrong. They jump straight into advanced tactics without having the key ingredients first. Okay, so there's one core strategy that I believe all community owners should start with before they move on to these other 3 strategies that we're going to talk about as well. And so miss this and the other strategies are just not going to work as well. Okay. And so stick with us because by the end of this episode, you are going to have a complete roadmap to turn your free community members into a profitable business. And we're going to start with the foundational stuff. Okay. Thank you. So let's dig into what we're going to talk about today. And that is how to actually monetize your free communities. So I see this all the time. People are building these free communities and they get hundreds, maybe even thousands of members, but they're not really making any money from them. They don't know how to convert or monetize their audience. And so they don't know where to start, or they're just trying these tactics that they think they need to do, but they're just not working for them. Okay. So here's the reality. There is, in my opinion, a specific order to the conversion mechanisms that you try to use in your community. So most people try to jump straight into like running webinars or doing challenges without what I believe laying the proper foundation that you need first. Okay. Now, if you're doing successful challenges or workshops and all that stuff, and that's working for you, great. But if you are starting a brand new community and you're not doing what we're about to talk about first, I highly suggest that you start there, and then you can expand out to these other conversion mechanisms, because what we're going to talk about is going to help you to dial in the way that you talk about your offer, and also help you to figure out the pain points and how your customers are talking about the problems and the challenges that they're facing. So basically the foundational part, before you do any type of trying to convert people, the first thing that you need to do is you obviously need to identify your niche, right? That's the foundation to building everything. I don't want to get too deep into that today, because if you're starting a community, I feel like you should have an idea of what your niche is. So we won't get too much into that today. Okay. The next thing that I wanted to talk about is the product roadmap. So let me see. Okay. Let me bring up and this is just foundational stuff, but this is, to me, one of the most important pieces that we've developed in our process, because once you have this, everything, I swear to God, everything else in your business just becomes a whole lot easier, because now we have all these AI tools that we can feed this into to create pretty much anything we want. Okay. So the product roadmap is basically your process of how you take people from where they are now, where they have a problem they want to solve, all the way to the transformation that they want to achieve. So there's a step-by-step process, whether you know it or not, that you take people through to help them to get that transformation that they're after. And you need to map this out. You need to map this out because you need to be very clear on how you help people get that transformation. But you also need to map this out and create a document, because once you have that, you have one of the greatest assets in your entire business that you can use AI to create, pretty much anything. You can use it to create lead magnets that we'll talk about in a second, webinars, video sales letters, YouTube scripts, emails, workshops, and challenges. Once you have this document, everything else becomes a whole lot easier. So basically building out your product roadmap. So that's step 1, right? The foundational stuff. Now, once you've actually built out your product roadmap, that'll give you a document that looks something like this. Let me go to this, just so you see that we eat our own dog food. This is our product roadmap. You can see it's a full document that outlines all the steps in our process. And now we have this document that we can take and we can use with AI to create our offer. So that's the next step. And we've developed an AI tool that does the exact same thing. We paste in our product roadmap, essentially, have a conversation like I was just showing you with the product roadmap interviewer. And that will help you to build out what we call a founding member or beta offer. So if this is the first thing you've ever sold before, then you want to start with what we call a founding member offer. So you're going to give these people a discounted offer, a discounted price, in exchange for the fact that you are not, and this is another key, is like a lot of people think that they need to build out their entire program and it has to be perfect and all that stuff before they can actually make money, when we believe the exact opposite. I want you making money as fast as possible, and I don't want you to waste months, weeks, or months building out a course to do it. Okay. I want you to create an offer. Your product is not your offer. We talked about the product roadmap. Your product is not your offer. Your offer is the way that you package up the product to make it irresistible to your target audience. And so right after we've built the product roadmap, we're not going and wasting months or weeks building out the program. We're packaging that product roadmap into an offer. And at that point, we're ready to go sell. We can start making money right away. Maybe we have warm people in our audience that we can go and try to book calls with, reach out to them, say, hey, I know you're a great fit I'm doing something really cool. I'd love to share it with you. I think you'd be a great fit. Get them on a call, see if they are having the problem that your founding member offer solves, and then try to enroll them into your founding member program. And then once you've filled the founding member program, then you can actually build it with your audience, right? This is exactly what we did with the 10K community bootcamp. We went out and I built out the product roadmap. I created the offer, and then I went out and I sold it. And we sold close to $30,000 for this thing before I had built a single lesson. And then each week I basically built out the lessons with the people that joined. And then we just finished the 8 weeks. And through that whole process, I was able to upgrade everything in our community. And that's one of the reasons that I did it, because I wanted to improve all the training and all the tools inside of our community, our paid community. And that's what this allowed me to do. So that is a perfect example of creating your offer and going and selling it and validating the idea before you spend all this time creating programs that people might not buy. So that's the key. Okay. Community Builders Elite is our paid community where we literally give you everything you need to launch, grow, and monetize a very profitable and fun community, including the roadmap, the coaching and the training, the automated systems, and the AI tools that are going to help you to do it faster and easier. So if you want to come check us out, I'll drop a link in the description so you can join us and see what we're all about. So we'll see you inside. All right. So now we have your offer. What are we going to do? Well, the next thing that we do, and this is where I think everybody should start, whether you are, if you're brand new to starting a community, you should definitely start here. A lot of people just think I'm too good to take sales calls. I don't want to spend time on sales calls. When you haven't made a single sale, you do not deserve to run a webinar and start making a bunch of sales if you're not willing to do some hard work and get on some phone calls. That's tough love 101. Everybody here, if you're starting a community, just take some phone calls. You're not too good for it. Alex or Mosey will tell you that as well. So the next step is, once we have the offer, we set up the community funnel. And the community funnel works like this. We drive traffic from social media, YouTube, Facebook ads, those are our main channels, into the free community. Once they hit our free community, we have membership questions set up that capture their email address and their phone number. That email address and phone number is now sent into our CRM. So one of the ways that we're trying to book calls, and this system is built for booking calls, right? This is method number one for converting free members into paid members, okay? Or paid customers. So we push that information into our CRM. So we have a whole Go High level snapshot that we give our clients and our members that's already set up with all of our exact email systems and SMS systems. This is working to book calls. We have a Skool direct message that's also working to book calls. And then we have multiple different mechanisms like call to actions in our lessons, pin posts, and our daily posts. And all of that is working to book calls. We are booking too many calls. And so now we have to add friction to the process. And that's kind of what you want to do. You want to create flow. So you want to have volume. When you're first getting started, you just want as much volume as possible. And then when you have too much volume and it's becoming time consuming, maybe you're getting on too many calls with unqualified people, then you can start to figure out how to add friction. Can you add a survey or an application process? Can you do like us, where we're now doing group onboarding calls? So that is the first method for converting your free members into paid members. Any kind of thing to add there, Jeff?
Yes, for sure. Here's why it's like critically and vital for you to do this if you're new, or even if you have an offer that it's kind of struggling to sell, is that the amount of data that you're going to gain from actually taking those calls, you can't even put a value on, because what happens is you're driving all of this traffic into your community. And the only way to know if you're getting those, I call them perfect clients, those perfect clients in your community, is by actually speaking with them. So if you're getting on calls and you're not actually having them and getting feedback from them, you don't know if you're getting the right people or not. So if you're saying, hey, I'm getting people in my community, but nothing's converting, well, it might be because you're bringing the wrong people in. And that's, again, the value of those one-on-one calls. So whether you take 30 or 40, 50, I highly recommend you take the calls for data. It's going to tell you if you get the right people in, and then it's also going to tell you if you're getting the wrong people in. And the beauty is, once you start getting the right people in and you're making sales one-to-one, now you know all the key things to make sure you bring into the next way to sell, the one-to-many, which you're going to go ahead and speak about.
Cool. So that is method number one. And that sales calls are a one-to-one type sales mechanism, right? You're going to get on a call with, well, it can be, or kind of like we're doing a group strategy, which is probably the fourth strategy. But so booking a call is a one-to-one sales mechanism. So you're going to get on a call with one person, you're going to have a conversation, you're going to try to sell that person into the program. That is going to be the easiest way to convert, and that's why you should start with sales calls, right? There's no other thing that's going to make it easier for you to sell, right? You're not going to sell more in chat or a webinar or anything like that than you are giving somebody one-on-one time to convert them. That's just like a coaching call. You'd rather have a one-on-one coaching call than you would have a group coaching call or anything like that. Okay. So that's going to help you to sell. You're going to sell better doing that, even if you're a shitty sales person. Okay. All right. So that's the step number one. The next step up from that is, in the first mechanism, you can start selling with your first person that comes into the community, as long as you can book a call with them. These mechanisms that we're going to talk about now, you need to build up your community to a certain point. I would say at least like 100 people. And then you can start doing what we call conversion events. And so conversion events are where you sell one to many instead of selling one to one. Okay. And so the first step of this is creating a special limited time offer. And so perfect example of this is the promotion that we're running right now inside of Community Builders Elite. We've packaged our typical offer, which is our Community Builders Elite program, with 3 extremely sick bonuses that are disappearing after the next 16 people join. But that's kind of what we do, is we create the main offer and then we package it up, bundle it up with some really exclusive offers. And you got to kind of look at your program, see what you can kind of splinter out as those bonuses. And one of the elements you also want to have is scarcity or urgency. Okay. So scarcity is created by offering limited number of spots. Urgency is created by having a deadline. Okay. All right. So that is the offer. Then once we have the offer created, we have some different types of campaigns that we can run, essentially. Jeff, anything before we jump into this around the special offer, anything like that?
No, I just, a lot of times if you can make your bonuses connect to what would be potential objections people would have, it always works really well. So if you know your offer solves this result, and then we start thinking about what bonuses should I have, start thinking about what's going to hold somebody back from maybe moving forward, and have a bonus directly related to that, and it will get people to take more action. So just a little thought, kind of when you're designing your bonuses, how you can, really have the bonuses have positive impact.
Yeah. So the first way that you can run these type of promotions to convert people in your free community is what we call a promo cycle. A promo cycle is essentially just a series of posts and or emails that can be repurposed into community posts, social media posts, and stories. Okay. So the idea here is that we want to get our new offer, our special offer, in front of as many people as possible. And so however you do that, whether it's, posting on social media, posting in your stories, definitely sending emails to your list, posting inside your community, reaching out to your warm list of people that have shown interest but have been kind of on the fence. Maybe these extra bonuses will kind of push them over the line. So that's essentially what we're running right now, is our promo cycle, right? And so this is a series of 5 days is basically how we run ours. And essentially what we have is a promo cycle expert. So again, we've got some questions that we share with our clients to fill out all the information that the promo cycle expert needs to create their promotion. And then basically it will write all the content. So this is, let's see. So this is basically, it writes all the emails, and then we repurpose those emails. And this is exactly what I use to write the sequence for our promo cycle that we're running right now. And then we also have stories that it will also write. So that's the first type of conversion event. Jeff, anything to add there?
Well, the only thing I want to say is, we've mentioned AI quite a bit, guys, and please understand that there's still a level of, a tiny bit of work, because AI is going to do the heavy lifting, but you still need to personalize it, make sure it really, is the proper messaging and everything else. I don't want you guys thinking it's super easy and you just, AI does it all and it prints us 100% perfect. I mean, there is a little bit of, expertise that kind of goes into it, and obviously we will help you with that and teach you with that messaging, but I just going to kind of do a little caveat there, because I don't want you guys thinking that we have AI do everything for us, because the reality is they do a lot of it and the tools are unbelievable, but they're still personalized, and we still put time and effort into making sure that they one, we can absolutely deliver whatever we're saying and so forth. So just kind of keep that in mind when you're talking about AI. When you're doing it using AI, you don't want people thinking you're just creating some program that's all AI based and it's not really coming from you, the real expert. So keep that in mind.
It's just it's a tool to help you to do things faster and more efficiently.
Exactly.
And then, but I have programmed it pretty damn well to where
yes, that's incredible. Like, don't get me wrong, like the results are phenomenal. You just got to make sure they're
I'm very picky
personalized
on the output that it gives us. If you'd like to get access to our Community Launch Secrets course, where we show you how to launch a brand new community and get your first 100 members in just 10 days or less, then I'll drop a link in the description so you can join our free community and get instant access, and we'll see you inside. So the next step, and the promo cycle, I started with the promo cycle because it's the easiest to execute, and it actually gets really good results. We've done this multiple times, and it works pretty much every time. Maybe it doesn't get the goal that I hit, the goal that I'm after, but we make money from it. Pretty decent money every single time. We've used it to run our Black Friday offer, which was to get our annual membership, and we sold out by Wednesday, which was I think $12,000. We used a promo cycle, an extended promo cycle, to win the Skool games last December. So these things work, and we have the AI tools that basically are trained to create all of the emails in the way that we like to write them. That is proven to work for our business. Okay. Also, so the next step up from that is a webinar. So a webinar is a little bit more of a heavy lift. You've got to create the webinar presentation. The promotion is very similar. So we're going to use emails, community posts, social media posts. You could run ads to get people to the webinar, and then you have to get people to attend the webinar, and then you present, and at the end of the webinar, you pitch your offer or you pitch a phone call. And so that is kind of the next conversion event. It works really, really well. But there are some, there's different things inside of that process that can kind of break, that you have to optimize, because you have to get people to register, right? Then you have to get people to show up, and then you have to get people to stick around till the end. And then you have to have the pitch that converts really well. So there's a lot of things that can kind of go wrong with that. And a lot of people talk about, running webinar funnels and all this kind of stuff. And I love it with a community, because the community is working behind the scenes to also convert people. But in my opinion, it would be really hard to run like a webinar funnel really well, because especially if you're brand new, because there's so many moving parts to that that is not for a newbie.
Definitely not. But again, that's where all that data from those one-on-one calls, are going to help you tremendously, because you're going to know what, topics and what if you're using a perfect webinar structure, what the 3 secrets are and things like that. So again, there's always benefit in following the process that Ron's speaking about right now, which is, do some one-on-one calls so that it prepares you for the webinar or the masterclass, whatever you might call it.
Yeah. And so with the webinar, basically you just promote it inside your community, promote it to your list, get as many people to show up for the webinar as possible, and then go through the training and then pitch your offer at the end. So that's conversion event number 2. Okay. So let's talk about the final conversion event, which are workshops and challenges. And this is one of my favorite ones, Jeff, because with workshops, you get to spend a little bit more time with your audience, and you're helping them implement something. So you're building that, you're accelerating the know, like, trust factor with the people that show up for the workshop. Also, what's cool with the workshops is that you can actually charge up front for these. So you can bring in some cash flow to get paid to pitch your next thing. So that's really cool. And so with what workshops or challenges, what I like to do is look at our product roadmap, like we talked about earlier, and then pull some ideas out from that product roadmap to create, to basically give them a quick win. So you want your workshops or your challenges to give your audience a quick win. So we've developed an AI tool. And so basically what this thing does is we'll help you ideate workshops. So this is basically me brainstorming with the tool. It will also do lead magnets. So the first set, what we trained it to initially, we want to create lead magnets. So that's the first quick win. But then once you found a lead magnet that worked, then we can actually expand on that idea and start to create a workshop. Okay. So what this did is like help me brainstorm some different workshop ideas based off my product roadmap that I gave it. So I picked one, and then it started to help me to build out the sales page for it. And so that's where it's working on the sales page. Actually, that's the actual, it starts to help you to outline the actual presentation itself. And then the pitch slides, and then it will start to write to help you to come up with the slides, each of the different slides. And then it will, I'm just reviewing everything. Oh, yeah, then it will actually help you to fill in the slides. And then it starts to, I didn't go through the whole process, but it starts to build out the ads for you. It will build out the emails to promote it. It builds out everything you need for the actual workshop, which is super cool. And so that is the next one. And you can pull out the different individual phases of your product roadmap. So if this is our product roadmap, for example. And so I could do a workshop on the launch phase. I could do a workshop on driving traffic through organic content. I could do a workshop on paid ads. I could do a workshop on our conversion events, and I probably will at some point. Or I could even pull out individual steps of our phases. So I could do a workshop on how to create an irresistible offer with AI. I've done that before, and it sold really well. So this tool, this AI tool that I showed you guys earlier, will help you to brainstorm those different workshop ideas and help you to identify the best one, and then build out the presentation, build out all the promotional material that you need to actually promote it. And so that is essentially, the 4 different strategies to convert your free members into paid members. You've got call booking, which is wherever I believe everybody should start when people are first coming in. Get them on a phone call. Try to see if they've got a problem that you help them solve, understand, their pain points and their struggles. And then if they're a good fit, pitch them into your founding member offer. Once you've kind of started to grow the community and your booking calls, that mechanism's working, then you can also start to implement some of these one-to-many type sales conversion events where you're doing some type of presentation or putting your offer in front of a lot of people at one time to convert those people into, whatever you're trying to convert them to, whether that's a paid community, another course, a boot camp, or trying to get them on a phone call and then pitching them on the phone call. That's basically kind of the 4 strategies that we've used. I mean, that's what we do. Like literally what we do. I'm not hiding anything. This is exactly what we do to build our communities, to convert free members into paid. That's pretty much it.
Yeah,
And then
no,
now we have
it's
AI tools that help us to do it faster and easier.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. I mean, if you think about conversion, or I like to call it enrollment, there's really only 3 ways to do it. We just shared with you the process, right? It's either done one-on-one, it's done one-to-many, or eventually you might do it in an automated or evergreen format. And that's really, again, the kind of behind the scenes of what we do. So, don't get scared about it. Start going through the process. If you're not sure how to do one-on-one calls, it's even more reason to jump into, Elite. We'll jump on a one-on-one and we'll help you through the process. So